of staff. Lots of other things as well, of course, who's been a great leader in our state, in the legislature for more than a decade, first elected to the Assembly in '98. Oh, he's here already, okay. Majority Leader in the California State Senate, Senator Dean Florez.
Thank you, Bill Lockyer. Well, what a great video that was. I actually enjoyed seeing how Art's hair got darker. How does that work? But I want to say, obviously, we're going to have some very good speakers tonight. Richard Alatorre, Bill Lockyer, of course, John Burton, all these folks who have served with Art in so many different ways at the national level, Howard Dean, Mike Thompson. I want to give you a different perspective, if I could. I want to give you the perspective of what it was like to be a staffer for Art Torres. And I can tell you that I'm probably the only person talking tonight that's actually picked up his laundry, taken care of his kids, lugged countless Robert Frost books to the floor of the Senate so he could give those wonderful speeches. And I can tell you that I have listened to my share of Luther Vandross from Fresno to Sacramento. I can tell you that right now, more than anyone else here on this stage. But, you know, what a great group of staffers Art Torres has produced. I think Richard Alatorre made some reference to it. You know, people like Javier Becerra, Dee Dee Myers, Dario Fromer, Gloria Molina, Martha Escutia, Gil Cedillo. I can go on and on and on, but I think at the end of the day, someone once said that, you know, when you plant a tree, sometimes you don't get to sit under it. It needs to grow. But I think that's what Art Torres does. He actually plants a tree and recognizes the shade isn't going to come till many years later, that someone else is actually going to enjoy the fruits of his planting. And I can tell you that the trees that Art has planted, the people that he has put in office, the people that continue to fight for the farm workers, the people that continue to fight for the environment, the people that continue to fight for health care, we're still here because of Art Torres. Let's give Art Torres a hand one more time. And Bill Lockyer just made reference of Ruben Ayala. It reminded me when I was in the Senate, there were only 3 Latino senators at that time, 3 Latino senators. Not even enough to, if you will, to fill this little room that we had at that time. Art would call these meetings of the Latino senators. And I can tell you that between Ruben Ayala, Joe Montoya, and Art Torres, as a young staffer coming on the Art staff, I thought, wow, this is great. I'm a Latino, straight out of UCLA from the Central Valley. First day on the job, I'm going to get to follow one of the best Latino leaders. I was very excited to work for him. And I want to let you know what my day was like. I remember it, and I wrote it down, but we started off, my first day with Art Torres, we started off in an African-American congregation in Los Angeles. And then we drove downtown to Chinatown, where we had a meeting, and then we moved to a meeting with Japanese internment folks in a Japanese restaurant in Los Angeles. We then went to Korea community for a business meeting. We then went to a union rally in the Valley, and we ended a day at a senior center somewhere in Montebello. And if you think about it, this is kind of like the United Nations with Art Torres. This was the new California, and we were so excited. I was so excited, but I was ready. I was wondering, when are we going to meet the Latinos? We've been everywhere. But this is what I learned from Art Torres. Art used to talk and continues to talk about the new California at that time, 22 years ago. And I am amazed to see that he saw this state 22 years ago the way it is today. And the fact is that Art has always been our ambassador to pulling the diversity together. It was not a surprise that Art was a success as a Democratic Party chair. It was not a surprise to me that he was able to pull this party together and make it successful and turn the corner and elect people like Barack Obama and the folks that we have in Congress. This has always been Art's vision 22 years ago, that California would be as diverse as it is today. And I can tell you, it was a very hard thing to see that with 3 Latino senators on the Senate floor in those days. And I got to tell you that at the end of the day, people talk about a Latino governor. My friends, we've already had our Latino governor. It's been Art Torres. Let's absolutely had our Latino governor. And I know that the kids are going to come up in a moment, but I want to just give you one more personal peek in terms of being a staffer with Art. To really understand Art, you got to understand his mom, Julia. Because if you really want to know where the fire comes from, this is a woman that's been through the toughest campaigns you're ever going to meet. And if you want to know about Art's laughter and his gregarious nature and his humor, you have had to have met his dad, a union butcher talking from his couch and making us all laugh. And if you want to know about Art Torres' love, you got to spend a few moments with his sister Marina, who bubbles with love and only sees the world as the cup always full. And if you want to understand his compassion, you're going to hear in a few moments from his kids, Danielle and Joaquin. And I can tell you, I've seen them all. Danielle falling asleep at Frank Fat's almost every single night as Art worked with us. Joaquin babysitting him, scaring him all the time at the house and trying to figure out how to deal with him growing up as a young man. But to understand Art Torres is to understand the people that have surrounded him. And I am extremely proud to know that he has passed his family values on to every single person I mentioned earlier. And he's passed these on to us as well. We are a better party because of Art Torres. We are a stronger party because of Art Torres. And we owe Art Torres everything. Let's give him one more hand. So when I left the Senate as a staffer, he gave me a resolution. I'd like to give Art a resolution from the California State Senate. It's only fair. And I want you to know that once an Art Torres staffer, always an Art Torres staffer. I don't care if you're the Senate Majority Leader or Congressman Becerra. I can tell you that we're all sitting there when he's giving his speech wondering, should I take him a glass of water? Art, come up here. I want to give you my love. I want to give you my thanks. I want to give you a resolution and tell you how great you've been for California. Art Torres, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's very sweet. By the way, Senator. Okay, I think the kids were just already introduced, but just as someone who heard